Ladies and gentlemen, what the world has been waiting for, what the world needs now, let's bring him out. The amazing, original Johnny Blaze. There's Johnny.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you all to the original Johnny Blaze Show. It's great to be here as I blaze right in. Let's have a blazy hot fun time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go for it. My girlfriend used a puppy. She wanted a puppy, but I told her I didn't want a puppy. So I compromised and I bought her a puppy. My ex-boss once asked me, "Hey, who is the stupid one here? Me or you?" I told him everyone knows that you never hire anyone stupid. Show me a man who's never cheated on his wife. Well, I'll show you one ugly dude. We love to talk about the good and the good old days. What we forgot is back then, we weren't very good, and we also weren't very old. Well, the closest thing that a person ever approaches perfection is when he starts filling out a job application form. I had to break up with my girlfriend last month. She just wouldn't admit that she was getting fatter and fatter. She blamed it all on gravity. She told me that if this were another planet, I'd only weigh 100 pounds. I told her, that's fine. If you want a honeymoon on Venus, we'll get back together. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very exciting, great show tonight. And my special guest is a film director and also a music video director and producer. So please give a big warm welcome to Justin Purser. Hey, how are you doing tonight?
You? I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure, Justin. Yes. Tell me about yourself, about your background as far as film directing. How did you really get into that, Justin?
Well, since I think you told me we were safe, like I can't get the virus through Zoom, so I guess I can take my mask off. I wasn't sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure what
no,
the
it's
new.
good to be.
Yeah, I just
yeah,
know
you can't get that.
I didn't want to get arrested with the new orders. I don't know if I get arrested for not wearing a mask on the show.
You're not going to get arrested here, Justin.
Okay. So my background. How did I get into that?
Right.
I'll give you the short, quick version. I grew up in Florida. I grew up surfing. My friends became some of the greatest surfers in the world, and I basically started filming surfing because I wasn't that good. So my parents had bought a camera, so I started doing that, and then I went to film school in Orlando at a school called Full Sail, and then I graduated and I got to intern on a TV show called Sequest, which was Steven Spielberg's TV show that he was filming in Orlando. It was just, I always tell people timing is everything, and right place, right time. And it was a time when Universal Studios were opening up their studios for filming, and it was like Orlando's the next Hollywood, which it never turned out to be, which no other Hollywood turns out to be the next Hollywood, right? And that's how I got into it. And then from there, I continued to make like surf videos, and then eventually I kind of grew sick of that. I started really young, and I decided I wanted to move out to Los Angeles and get into music videos. So that's my short story.
How young were you, Justin? When you
I was 2 years old when I started filming.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding. No, I think I was like 13, 14, I think. Yeah.
I see. Well, that's phenomenal.
Thank you.
What made you decide? So who is it that, is there anybody in particular that had an influence upon you, or is it just something you just decided you wanted to do on your own, or?
Oh, filmmaking?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone who's a filmmaker we're all influenced by those who come before us. That's how anyone gets interested in anything, right? Like any art, like music, film, painting, whatever. I think Quentin Tarantino was, I guess still is, my favorite filmmaker. I was fortunate enough to get to work at his company, A Band Apart, for a few years. which was really cool. I never met him. He never came in the office, and I don't blame him. I wouldn't either. And I like Spike Jonze, and who's also a music video director. Well, he did do music videos. Michel Gondry. I just recently rewatched Eternal Sunshine, and I just can't believe how brilliant that film is and how it still holds up today. The concept and just everything is just great.
Wow. What is there about film directing that really excites you and motivates you and really gets you into it? What is there about it that you?
It's funny. I think I've had this conversation with a bunch of people, and it's a weird thing. I think anyone who works in any form of entertainment, yourself included, like, I think we all have a little bit of amnesia. I think we do it, and we, you kind of go through the process, and the process is never that easy or fun. It's always very difficult, no matter how easy you think it's going to be to start. It's always very difficult, and you do it. And then you get to the end, and then you go, myself anyways, I'm always like, pretty much every time I finish something, I'm like, I'm done. I'm never doing that again. And then a couple weeks later, I'll be like, yeah, I'll do that. That'll be an easy job. I'll take that again. So I think what I attribute to that too is just, you have like, there's something inside of you that drives you with a passion. For me, I just really love entertaining people.
Right.
So I love to, I think what drives me is, like, I love to just create things that entertain people.
That's great. That's great. So you love to see him smile. You love to make him happy, and it just. What is the process now for a filmmaker, director? What is the all the way to the end? What is the process to make it successful? What is your take on that?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not there yet. To make it successful, I don't know. Well, I just spoke at for a school a couple weeks ago, and a bunch of film students, and it's so difficult right now because everything, as you well know, is so different today than it was this time last year. It's like, so, their advice, like, how do I meet people? How do I do this? And I'm like, I honestly don't know, because this is such a different, weird time. And especially, a lot of people aren't thinking about this for Hollywood. And I don't really, necessarily blame them or whatever, but, like, the entertainment industry is, like, probably one of the most affected industries, this year during all this. Like, you can't, it's a town built on events and networking and red carpets and, and going to this and that. And, it's like, and all that is done right now. So it's just a weird time. So, as far as, like, to make it successful, I don't know what it looks like today, and I don't know what it'll look like tomorrow. But there will be successful people. We know that.
Of course. What are the favorite type of movies that you get into? Is it documentary, or do you do science fiction, or mystery, or horror, or comedy? Is there any particular thing that you specialize in that you like, or is there do you like a combination of different genres of films?
I enjoy a bunch of different genres. It's funny, I actually don't enjoy documentaries, even though I directed one. I rarely watch them. And to be honest, with my documentary, that's sort of what I took into the process, was like, I want to make a documentary that doesn't really feel just like a documentary. I want it to be fun. I want, at the end of the day, like, I want to do things that they told me I couldn't do. Like, you can't have an unreliable narrator as the person narrating the documentary. And I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it. And I did it. I even with the names and the lower thirds, I took liberty on, like, making it kind of a joke, and everyone's like, it's supposed to be, a factual event, but I'm like, what it is, it can still be factual and it can still be fun. But as far as movies I like, I don't necessarily have a specific genre. I do love comedy. I love dark comedy really more than I probably should. And I actually really like, and this is something I probably shouldn't like and shouldn't admit, but I really like bad movies. Like, when a movie is really bad, like, I really like it just because of how bad it is. And now that I've made one, I've learned to appreciate, like, I don't care if your movie's bad. I don't care if nobody likes it. the fact that you made one and made it to the end, to me, is like, I respect that, even if I don't like the movie. So, yeah.
When you say a movie that's bad, you mean a bad, what, you mean it was poorly done, or you mean it's about something that is some kind of violence, or I don't,
Just
what do you mean exactly by bad?
like a really it's like a really like cheesy movie, like a movie that like almost anyone could watch it and go like, wow, this is, or the acting's really bad. I don't know. It's just, I guess maybe because I just find it funny and amusing. And I appreciate even when good movies, have like some, I was bad stuff in it. Like I was just thinking today for something randomly about Empire Strikes Back when Han Solo, Harrison Ford says, I'll see you in hell. It's just such a weird, random line thrown in there. And it sort of sticks with you because it doesn't really fit the rest of the movie. So I don't know. I guess maybe what I appreciate is the fact that like it kind of, bad movies kind of poke fun at movies in an unobtrusive, direct way. So I don't know where I'm going with this, but that's kind of my answer.
It could be some kind of satire. It might be something like a Star Wars type or something like that, or some kind of horror movie. It sounds like it could be.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Scary.
A bad horror movie is to me is like, it's because then it becomes comedy, even though it's not supposed to be. So I think maybe that I like movies maybe for what they're not supposed to be sometimes. But I do go by director and filmmaker. Like Quentin Tarantino makes a movie, I'm going to see it like no matter what it is. David Fincher, same thing. Like, I kind of just go by like who made the movie, and if I like them. So
I see. Spielberg, yeah, he was one of the great directors too. Steven Spielberg.
oh, I've heard of him.
You probably like some of his.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I just started watching. My daughter loves dinosaurs, so I've been. She's maybe a little too young, but I did it anyways. She's 5, and I've been watching the Jurassic Park series with her.
Right.
And just actually now that I've been like really going through like some of the stuff that Steven Spielberg does with his directing and like storytelling, that's like I'm kind of jaw dropped a little bit. I'm like, wow, how did he think all that out in his head? Like it's pretty cool. So yeah.
That's neat. Your documentary, I read about it. Apparently, it was in 2019. You did a documentary about something to do about sea, as if by sea or something, about surfing. It's something to do with surfing, turning people's scars into stars, something like that. Tell me
Yeah,
more about that.
it's actually 2 guys that I grew up with that are identical twins, and the movie's more about them and their relationship as identical twins. That's much more fascinating than them being pro surfers. I mean, they're 2 of the most iconic professional surfers, but I think it's more fascinating that they're identical twins and what's that was like. So we used their careers to tell the story, but it's mainly focused on what their existence was as identical twins. I did a lot of research on identical twins, and you and you're not an identical twin, are you?
No, I'm not.
Well, I didn't think so. That'd be pretty cool if I said that and you like brought him on camera and just blew my mind. We don't think about it, what it would be like, because it's not totally foreign to us and it's not in our peripheral. But like, to be born an identical twin, like you have a duplicate. Imagine having a duplicate of yourself like every day of your life. Like from the day you were born, there's somebody there who looks exactly like you. And then you take that into like an adulthood, and then you take it into their adulthood, which is even more bizarre, where they both went in the same career path in a very like niche but a world stage sport, a judge sport. So you're like, the judges, are they judging you? Do they think you're your brother? There's so much psychology to it, and it really affected their life in a bizarre way. Like it helped their career, because they basically, only person they wanted to outdo was their brother. So no matter what the brother did, they were like, I'm going to beat that, because if I don't beat that, I'm going to disappear. So it became an identity crisis, and it fueled their career and their drive to a level that most people never achieve. But at the same time, it ripped their personal lives apart, because here they are chasing each other, fighting each other basically to try and, outdo the other, and their marriages are falling apart. They're not seeing their children. It just becomes, like this really, blessing and a curse. So that's the story of the movie. And that's the angle we took. Cause that was, the surfing, their careers kind of tell the story, but it's more about,
Interesting.
Yeah. What's that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's more of honestly, it's like,
That's very interesting. It's a true story. It sounds like.
yeah. it's funny because the people who surf enjoy it, but the people when we were touring the film and doing all these theater showings, the people who were interested the most were people that didn't know anything about surfing, and they were just more fascinated. They're fascinated by the sport, but they're also fascinated by the story of, because like I just said, like, you know, unless you're identical twin, you can't relate, and you don't really ever really think about it, you know, because why would you? So.
Right. Well, there was a movie called Twins. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. I
Yes,
think they did.
I recently found out they aren't actually twins. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. You never know in life. Yeah, it's a small world.
Yeah,
Some people think might be the opposite. That's true.
yeah.
You won awards apparently. I heard that you came in third place. Did you with awards on your documentary?
Yeah, we won film festivals. You know, we entered a ton of them. And some took it, some didn't, and you know, we won a few. But to be honest, like, that doesn't really do anything for me. Like that, I mean, it's great and it's an honor or whatever. But to be honest, like, I'm more excited about people, like just regular people that watch it and, you know, would message me, or when we did a theater showing would come up and have just like a take on it that I had never heard or thought of, or they just saw something different than I didn't. You know, I kept saying, like, honestly, it wasn't going to get into Sundance. I never thought that. And I never cared, or like win an Oscar. Like, I was like, I don't even care. It's definitely not going to be nominated. And even if it was, like, to be honest, I weirdly wouldn't care. Like, I'm more excited about just the average person than I am like some person who works at a film festival or like someone who judges the Oscars. I don't know. I just never really been that interested in that.
Oh, I see. So you're interested in just appealing to the average person, doing it with fun and passion. You're not caring that much about if there's any awards.
Yeah, I mean, what's an
That's
award?
what you're telling
Really?
me, right?
Yeah, I mean, really, what does an award mean? Like, it's a statute. Like, it doesn't really, like, you know. I mean, it's just, especially like I've always found like film festivals and like the Oscars. Like, I've always found it very bizarre that like it's just a select group of people, and like you know, who's to say that this movie is better than that one? Like, you know, what makes them the expert on telling everyone else what's a good movie? You know, like, I don't know. I never really got into that. So, but yeah, I'm honestly more about like, I would rather never win an award and have like lots of people around the world enjoy what I did than win an award and like have it be some like niche film that no one ever saw.
I see. Okay, so you want to appeal to people, and you want people to love it and see it, and that sounds like that's more important than the actually winning an award. Well, that's
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
I mean,
I want people to love and hate it. Like, I feel like that's the key. Like, you like polarization. Like, I was not something I didn't want to. I didn't want people to just go, yeah, it was okay. Like, I wanted people to go, yeah, I didn't like it, or go, yeah, I really liked it. To me, I think that's more of a success. Like, having people love and hate something is, you know, you look at all, you know, the greatest artists and the greatest, you know,
right.
people in the world. They're always super polarizing. So I love that.
I see. I know that you also directed the music videos and produced the music videos, and you worked apparently with a lot of, I guess, different labels and the top celebrities and artists. Can you tell me about that, about your experience and the people you work with and the celebrities and also the labels that you work with?
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, and when I moved out here, that was music videos was like what I'm like, I think because I was making surf videos, and surf videos, you can't really get artistic in them. At the time, the kids just want to see surfing. So I wanted to do something more creative. So I thought music videos would be the angle because it seemed creative. So I got fortunate enough to like work with some of the greatest directors in the business and learn from them. And yeah, I mean, I can't like, it's funny. I was having this conversation with somebody the other day, like, it's a blur. Like, I don't remember.
Oh,
It's all sort of blended together, like all these, like, you know, like Katy Perry, Nine Inch Nails, Coldplay, like, it's, you know, it's all like Justin Timberlake. It's all sort of like, you know, blurred into this, like, oh yeah, I forgot about that video. Like, I was on a ton of sets, and then I eventually became a director. And about the time I became a director is when the industry kind of started to implode. You know, YouTube was coming out, and, you know, your video, you know, the record label spent, you know, they spent $150,000 on is playing right after a video of a cat falling off a table, and the cat falling off the table has, you know, 3 million views, and the video has, you know, almost 1 million or whatever. So the record labels are looking at it like, why don't we just put music to a cat falling off a table, you know? So yeah, so I did some. I was kind of weird because it was like not what I signed up for, because the industry really started dying and the budget started dying. But I worked with like Interscope and Sony, and as a director, and I directed videos for like Jason Derulo and A Fine Frenzy, Mickey Avalon. I actually cast Lindsay Lohan in a video that I directed. Right after, it was her first job off house arrest, and that was interesting. Yeah, and then I kind of got into some branded stuff. I started doing some like branded spots for with companies and influencers, and then I kind of lost myself in my documentary for the last 5 years. I pretty much like just absorbed myself into that, to just put everything I could into that, because I realized it was an opportunity you don't get all the time to like make a movie and basically have the majority of creative control. So I kind of just put all my eggs in that basket.
I see. So music video, what's the purpose of a music video, and how do you do it, and exactly what's the complete process for a music video?
Well, that is a great question. So it's interesting. This is what happened. So music video used to be marketing. So it was marketing dollars. Back in the days of when there was this thing called MTV, and they played videos, and there was TRL, and it was the money basically came from marketing, because that's what it was for. It's a commercial. Basically, a music video it still sort of is a commercial for a song and an artist, but it's not as much as it was, because now with YouTube and Vevo, when the record label started Vevo, the reason they did it was because they wanted more money. They wanted, you get money per view on YouTube, but they were like, look, our content is the #1 streamed content, music videos, and we want a higher quality player, and we want more money per view. So that's how Vevo started. So now the video has become part of the revenue stream, right? So like an artist, when they release a video, let's just pick one. Lady Gaga. So if Lady Gaga puts out a video and she gets, 500 million views, at some point she's making, even if they spend $200,000 on the video, at some point they're gonna make money on that video. So when anything becomes not marketing and becomes part of the business or the monetization, what happens? You want to spend less to make more, that becomes the model. So now the music video has transformed from just a piece of marketing, like it was back in the days in MTV, to now it's pseudo marketing and also part of the revenue stream of the 360 model for the record labels. And then how the process works. What's that?
Right.
Oh,
that's interesting. Yeah. What's the process? You said the process works?
Oh, the process. So there's obviously a million different ways it works, but the basic way is the record label. There's a department at all the record labels that specifically work music videos. They're called music video commissioners. And what they do is they know who the directors are. They know who they want. And so, when Machine Gun Kelly video comes up, they go, okay, what directors do we think would be good to work with Machine Gun Kelly? And then they make a list, and I'm sure they send it to the artist, they send it to the manager, and they say, hey, here's who we're thinking. They okay it, and then what they do is they send it out to the directors through the production companies, through the directors' representations, and they say, hey, can you send this to this director? Send the song to them. So what happens is you get sent the song, and then you get sent like a brief, and the brief can be anything from a very specific, like, I want to do this, to it can be like the artist wants to wear yellow. It's all over the place. So, so what happens is, as a director, you get the song, you listen to it, and you have to basically come up with the creative for the video within the parameters that are allotted to you. So it's like, here's the budget, here's the dates it has to shoot, here's the location, here's what the artist wants, here's what the manager wants, here's what the record label wants, here's the purpose, here's the demographic we're looking to reach the audience. If it's a love ballad, we're trying to reach so-and-so, we're trying to appeal to blah, 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 and then sometimes they'll be like, oh, and it has to include a a Jeep Cherokee because Jeep Cherokee is giving us $50,000 for the video. And so you have to write that into somehow. So then the director has to go and listen to the song a billion times and come up with an idea. And then you send that in, the director writes up an idea with like visuals, and then you send that in. And usually there's obviously more than one director in the mix. And then they just go with the director and the idea that they like the most. And then you get awarded the video. Well, you don't get awarded video. You get asked to send a budget, and then you have to have a budget put together to show that you can do it for the money that they want to spend. And then if you hit those numbers, you book the job. You shoot the video.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Boy, you know your stuff. That's for sure. You really know your stuff. You sound like you really know how to produce and direct a winning music video. And it sounds like you're very experienced also in film directing too. Which do you prefer, film directing or music video production or directing, or you like them about the same? Or?
Yeah, that's a great question too. That's so, because it's so, I compare it to drugs, even though I don't do drugs. A music video is like a quick hit. It hits, it's over with, it's quick, it happens.
Right.
Doing a movie is like the ultimate drug. It lasts longer because the movie's longer. So, and the process is way longer, and it's way more of a marathon than a sprint. Music videos, commercials, those feel like sprints because you're just like, quick, get it done, get it out there. It is. Everyone see it. Cool. Great. Moving on to the next one. Whereas a movie takes, just because of, the length of it and just the time it takes to make it. So to me personally, I want to do a movie. I don't actually want to do another documentary. I want to do like a movie, a scripted film, a feature film. Or even nowadays, it feels like like the series on the streaming services, those are kind of, to me, those are the new movies. So I would like to do that, or a movie, because to me, that's the ultimate drug. Like, I love that more than anything. Again, like during the process, I want to not do it, and I want to quit, and I want to like never do it again. But when it's done and it's out and it's finished, and I can walk away from it and like never have to see it again, I feel euphoric. So yeah, that's the difference to me.
I feel your passion. I can feel it. The way you're talking. That's great.
Oh, thank you.
If you're gonna do something, you may as well you should love it. Otherwise, you shouldn't do it. I guess you should really something should be something that comes from within. Your creativity and your.
Yeah, but it also, right. At the same time, I tell people all the time, like, be careful, like turning what your passions into how you make money. Because you'll ruin a lot of things for yourself. I've ruined a lot of things for myself. And I've learned, like I like to take pictures, but I purposely never really ever wanted to get paid to take them, because once I get paid, then I got someone telling me what to do and how to do it and blah, 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 and what they want. So I've kept that as much as I can, just to its own, like, okay, I'm going to do this, but I'm only do it for fun, because I don't want to ruin this as well, because I ruined surfing, I ruined music. Now I've ruined movies. Like, I've ruined all these things for myself. So, but at the same time, like, it's what I love, and it's just who I am. I'm not alone in that. Everyone in this town that's moved here and is still here to, has a passion.
Right. Well, if you can do it for fun, you enjoy it, that's great. If you can make money at it, that's even better. But yeah, it's important to love what you're doing. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Like Ricky Nelson said in his garden party, if you can't please everybody, please yourself. That's true. It's impossible to please everybody.
Do
your best. That's all you can.
That is
right.
So true.
Well, do you have any advice for people who want to go into, if they want to go into being a filmmaker or a music video producer or director? What would you suggest if anybody wants to do that?
Don't go to school, be a lawyer, be a doctor. No, I'm just kidding. I actually, funny, I just did this when I spoke to the school, this college the other day. So my advice is you're going to fail. You're going to go through periods of it's not happening. It's never going to happen. I'm not going to make it. It's never going to work out for me. And if you don't have it in you to push through, then you won't. If you don't quit, you never lose, right? So you just have to keep going. And also, along the way, keep your mind open to other possibilities. Don't close your mind. Don't hold on to something that you're not right for. Because a lot of people, they move here and everybody wants the big job. They want the director. They want the producer. They want the glory and and all the what they think comes with it. But like for me, like when I moved out here to be a music video director, I didn't know if I could. I'm like, I don't know how this works. I might not be able to. I might not be creative enough. I have no idea. I'm going to try, but I'm not going to say that this is definitely what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to give it up if I can't. Along the way, I started to realize I could, and I had other people validating my beliefs, like other directors who are incredibly talented and incredibly successful, co-signing me, saying, hey, telling the record labels, like, I co-signed for Justin, he can do it, so that gave me validation. So, but, I kept my eyes open, and like, I got offered other jobs along the way, and I didn't take them because I did hold on to what I wanted to do, because I did feel like I could do it. But in the beginning, I was totally open. I'm like, maybe this won't work out for me. Maybe I need to find something else. So that's my advice. Like, as far as like specifics, I always tell people, like, you could walk on set and there could be 100 people on set, and each one of those 100 people has a different story how they got there that day. There's no direct path. There isn't like, becoming a doctor, you go to school, you intern, you residency. Entertainment, like, there's so much luck involved, and you have to be willing to let all that go. You have to be willing to like say, hey, you know what? Like, there's so much out of my control that I just have to do what I can do and hope for the best. And that's all I can do, because, being in the right place at the right time is one of the biggest parts of success in entertainment. And for some people, it never happens. For some people, it happens quickly. So for some people, it takes forever for it to happen. But, you just have to keep, if it's really what you love, you have to keep going.
So it's timing and persistence and luck. It's a combination of luck.
Yep.
Do you have any future projects, Justin? Anything that you're thinking of doing? What is your next film project?
I've kind of been honestly sitting on the sidelines during all this. Like, I had some opportunities to get back on set, and I kind of just like said no. Like, I didn't want to. I being on set for me is like, it's a kind of a closeness with the crew, and like, you can't do that right now, and then having to wear a mask for 14 hours a day, like, I don't know. So I just have sort of been sitting back, and also like, people aren't really watching anything right now. I mean, I keep telling people, like, you can't compete with real life. Like, there's no movie, there's no TV show that can compete with real life right now. Like, it's so entertaining, and I don't mean entertaining like ha 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 funny. I just mean like, it's everything from horrific to like ridiculous to funny to like, there's this, it's like 2020 is like, you couldn't script it. Like, even if you did, people would tell you, they'd rip it up and be like, no one will believe this. So on that regard, like, I built my career. Fortunately, a couple of years ago, I started like realizing I didn't necessarily want to just have to take jobs and direct just for money. I was like, I don't want to be locked into this. So I started creative directing. So I do that. I did an Arizona iced tea campaign for my friend's agency, Bench Mob. So they wanted to build a TikTok, so we helped build them a TikTok. And so I do that. And as far as getting back on set, I do have a couple of projects. I had a project I was like really starting to move and shop right before, like in March. And I just sort of set back on it now. Are you familiar with like Christopher Guest movies, like Best in Show and Mighty Wind?
I've heard of it. Yeah, Christopher Guest. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's a director, actor. He's fantastic. He also did This Is Spinal Tap. So it's I would like to do it's a mockumentary. So I started shopping that. It's basically based on the influencers, and it would be like them moving to LA and deciding to make a movie together, and just the but it was scripted. Cool. But it would be like a documentary, but it would all be scripted and fake, but it would be shot in the feeling of a documentary. And it, so I might start moving that again. And I actually just got offered this idea for a horror, like, it's kind of weird. It's kind of like a comedy horror film. So yeah, we'll I'll see. I'm just now starting to like get sort of like the feeling back of like, okay, I think I'm ready to do this again.
Mockumentary, I think that's some kind of a satire type of movie, isn't it, or a comedy?
Yeah.
Similar to a documentary. Is that correct?
It's a scripted documentary that feels like a documentary. Yeah.
Okay. That's great. That's very interesting. You're very versatile, and you have a lot of interest in. So if people want to, let's say, if people want to find out more about you, what would they, what the different areas that they, are you on Instagram, Facebook, different things?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely on Facebook, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, OnlyFans. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Instagram. I have a website. It's just my name, justinpurser.tv. That I'm actually having renovated right now. Like, and LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn. Like, I've had people reach out to me. I feel like I'm constantly every day having like 15 different conversations on 15 different platforms with people I don't know. I'm totally open. Like, I'm like almost an open book, almost to a fault. Like, I just talk to everyone. I'm just like, hey, people are like, hey, you don't know me, but I'm like, okay, cool. And I don't know. I guess this is part of who I am. Like, I don't really care I'll talk to anyone. So yeah, they can find me on all those platforms. Most of it's, if you just look up my name, they'll find me.
Well, you have a famous first name, that's for sure. Justin Timberlake, Justin Bieber, quite a few Justins out there in entertainment.
I'm older than both of them, so I had it first. They took it from me.
They probably did. Well, you're doing great. It sounds like like I say, you're very interesting and well-rounded, and you have a lot of talents, and you're doing, you're on your way up. That's for sure.
Hey, and I'm on your show, so that means I've made it. I finally made it, Mama. I made it.
Well, that's important. Well, I want all my fans and friends to have a blazing hot, wonderful, amazing time. That's for sure. That's my
Yeah, I always love all your Facebook posts, by the way. All your blazing Facebook posts. It's the best.
Well, that's great. That's great. And that's fantastic. And I see you with another Facebook friend of mine too. Her name's Bridget, I guess. It's always.
Oh.
You seem like you've written a few names.
Yeah, I probably legally am not allowed to talk about that. But.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, and you were on the Gong Show, right?
Okay. Well, no, we're not going to get into that. We're just saying.
Were you on the Gong Show?
Yeah, I was in the past. That's for sure.
Yeah, and then you have
Yeah, I won the show.
And there's a documentary about you, right?
Oh yeah, I have a document. Oh yeah, I do have a document. Did you ever see my documentary? Or
no, you know what? I see you post it, and I'm like, I need to watch that. And then, just like everyone else in this world, there's 50 million things that we have to watch, and then we forget. And then you post it again, and I'm like, I need to watch that, and then I forget. I need to watch it. Is it on YouTube?
Yeah. Well, you can see it. Actually, you can see it on. If you go to Amazon.com, it's called Gong But Not Forgotten: The Original Johnny Blaze Story.
Is it on Amazon? Okay, cool. Yeah. Hey, my movie's on Amazon too. We both have movies on Amazon.
Yeah, you can see a movie trailer on it on my website, www.johnnyblaze.ning.com or johnnyblaze.com.
Okay,
Johnny, see the trailer on there.
I've watched the trailer. No, I've watched the trailer several times, and every time I watch it, I need to watch this documentary. And then, like I said, like everyone else, I'm like, I get inundated by 50 different things I should watch, and then I just forget. So, but I've been meaning to watch it because I love the Gong Show as a kid, and I love that. I love the trailer and that name, Gong But Not Forgotten. Yeah, I need to watch that.
Yeah, go ahead and watch it on Amazon, Amazon.com.
I will.
Gone But Not Forgotten: The Original Johnny Blaze. If you like it, give me a nice positive review on it, Justin.
Oh, I will.
Anyway, I think you're doing phenomenal.
Thank you. I'm
You're
trying.
Doing great. You're really doing great. I've enjoyed having you. I really have enjoyed having you on here.
Thank you.
You're very impressive. You're not too pressing. You're impressive to me. Yes. You're very knowledgeable and you're very versatile and very interesting. So that's the kind of people I like to have on this show.
Well, cool.
For sure. So,
yeah. Thanks for having us. Thanks for hanging out with me on a Saturday night.
It's my pleasure. Enjoyed it. Right now with the pandemic, this is what we have to do is, you can't go out and do the filming and all that. So you use the computer on the internet. That's for sure.
Hey, I don't. So, this is my Saturday night. This is the highlight of my Saturday night, for sure. So yeah.
Well, I'm really glad that I had you on and everything, and just keep on doing what you're doing. Keep being inspiring. Keep being blazing and amazing, and go forward and go for your passions, and good things will come about. That's for sure, my friend.
You too. Thank you so much. I apprioate it.
It's certainly been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure, Justin. It really has.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it. Have a good night. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, you too. God bless you. Oh, I want to say before we end, I want to say thank you for my guest, Justin Purser. I want to thank my guest. And ladies and gentlemen, always keep a smile on your face and a song in your heart. Until next time, happy trails and blaze out.
Blaze out.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank Thanks, Bill. Thanks, you guys.
We appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
We do
good stuff.
appreciate it, Justin. Thank you very much.
Yeah.